Now it's time to start creating our own samples, our own artwork, using your logo name, whether it's your personal name, your business name, or in this case, if you really have a client, then go for it and do that. But what we're going to do is just get the right text in here. So this is where spelling is insanely important and double checking is insanely important, because you don't want to get halfway down the road with a logo comp that has a typo. Your clients are going to notice it and it's just not good. So let's click once on here. I'm just going to use my name. All right, and I usually just keep a sample of this somewhere, because a sample of this somewhere on the canvas, because what inevitably ends up happening is I'll drag a copy down, I'll find some font that I like, then I'll hit Command Shift O to create outlines, and I'll do something crazy to it, and I'll do, you know, whatever, there we go, you know, I'll just mix it up and do craziness. This is not crazy, but you get the point. Hey, there's that anchor from our anchor poster. Anyway, and then what happens is inevitably I'll want to change just a little detail or something, and it's like, oh dang, I can't remember what font I used, or you know, I just need to nudge this, or maybe I need a lowercase m instead of a capital M. Well, by having a copy up here, I can just drag a new one down and know right where I had started, get that lowercase letter maybe if I wanted to do that instead, and then I'm off and running without too much lost time trying to recreate whatever I made up here and had turned into a shape. So that's why I work that way. I'm going to delete that guy here. Now here's where it gets a little bit difficult for me personally. I feel like I struggle with fonts. I don't know about you, it might come easy, but I always have a hard time deciding on a font. For me, I could take hours finding the right font. And so a way that I really narrow this down is jumping into the Adobe Typekit and letting it narrow some of that down for me. So typically, I'll try and create 3 to 4 looks for a client. So I can come in here and grab, say, maybe a sans serif version, maybe a slab serif, you know, maybe a black letter version, and then, you know, do a couple things here. Let's just try this black letter. We'll go a little bit heavier, maybe a normal width here. And there are no fonts available. All right, well, let's find something else then. That was a bad example. All right. And let's just see here. Let's dive in with, gosh, and see, this is where you could spend hours and hours and hours and hours. So I don't really have a good rule of thumb other than just look at it, give it a try with whatever logo you're using. In this case, I have some of these fonts already installed, so I'll just cycle through this way. I'll click once on my character and just kind of cycle through until you find something you like. And sometimes it takes a while. The other thing that I notice is sometimes I end up coming back to the same fonts over and over and over. One of them, I like Abolition. I use that font probably way too much. I like Gin. That's another font I probably use way too much. I like, let's see, what are some other good ones here? Din. Some of these you have to spend a lot of money to get, but you know, you'll end up finding a few fonts that you really like that are kind of your go-to fonts for different things. So I'll go through and I just kind of find, you know, just a handful that inspire me. And I'm going to run with this guy here. I really am a big fan of the condensed, super bold look. So I'm going to run with this one. This is Abolition here. And you can find that on the Creative Market, creativemarket.com. But once I find a look that I like, what I'll do is I might keep these around. I'm going to move this over here. And I'll keep some of these ideas that I had around, because inevitably, you know, I'll come back to it. But I feel like you kind of have to start with a few looks that you're going to hate. It's just kind of the process. You just dive in, create a couple just to start warming your muscles up, right? Your creative muscles here, because I feel like it takes me a couple times. So I'm going to click once on here, hold on Alt, click and drag. Command Shift O to convert to outline. So now I've got my copy that I came from. I'm just going to stash this guy up here. And again, memory is practically free. You have so much memory on these computers now that you can keep working like this. And eventually your artboard is going to be a mess. It's going to be a huge mess. And you can just keep moving stuff over, making more room for the looks that you're doing. Typically the way I work is I'll design a look or two here, and then any looks that are keepers I'll kind of bring over into this canvas, and the other stuff that I don't like I'll just move it off canvas. So I just work back and forth to refine the look. All right, so that's the process. Go ahead and get your name dropped into here. Find a couple of fonts that you like. And in the next lesson, we're going to dive in and start playing with shapes and how I start creating more complicated illustrative looks.